Hey boys, it's Arm9. Today, we're customizing the Elegy Retro Custom in Grand Theft Auto Online. Now, I've been requested to do this kind of heavily recently. There's a few people who have asked me to actually customize this thing, so we're going to hop into it today. Now, I know today's upload is a lot later in the day than usual, so apologies for that, boys, but wanted to at least get one out for you today, so this is what we're doing. So, armor, we already have it all the way up, same with the brakes, and I believe the engine is also up on this car. This was previously customized, but I wanted to re-customize it today, so that's what we're doing. So to start off, the front bumpers, we have quite a few different options here. Now, we can go pretty nuts with this thing. You can go for the extended front diffuser. Now, that's kind of crazy. I think it's a little too much for me, honestly, so we're going to go for the carbon front splitter. We're kind of going to go for a carbon theme with this thing, I think. So we have the carbon raised diffuser. That's the one we're going to go for. It just looks the best. So we'll do that. For the chassis, we do have the ability to black out the headlights. I'm not going to. I previously had that done. I wasn't a super huge fan of it, so we're just not going to do that. Wind deflectors, I don't really love the look of that, honestly. And for the fenders, we do have a couple options here. We can add this sort of side vent onto this thing. We can, of course, like wide body the car, but I think we're just going to do the twin vent front fenders here, so we'll just do that. Now, the engine, I actually really like the stock engine block in this car being red. I think it looks sick, so we're going to leave that alone, actually. But for the cam covers, we are going to change it to the red pulleys because they just look sick. And for the strut brace, we are going to go for a more expensive one, something like maybe the large polished. I like that. And then for the engine tunes, obviously, we've got it all the way up already. Now for the exhaust, we do have a few different options here. Now, usually I would go for a single exit on this, and I think, you know what, I think I am actually going to go for a single exit. We'll go for the titanium tuner exhaust because, I mean, it just looks the best, so we'll do that. Now for the grille, we can do a secondary grille surround, a black grille surround, or carbon. We're going to go for carbon, of course. For the hood, we got the sticker bomb hood, ducted hood, vented hood, of course, double vented hood. There's a lot here. Performance hood. Honestly, I'm not 100% sure which one of these I want to go for. I kind of like the performance hood and the raised extreme hood. I've never done the raised extreme, so we're actually going to go for that today. And for the interior, there's a lot that we can kind of do in here, but I'm not a super huge fan of much of it, so we'll just go for like a Torino red on the interior of the car. For the dash, we can change this around a little bit. We could go for the carbon. We'll go for the carbon dash and the stripped interior. Now dials, we can mount some tachometers on here. I don't want to go too nuts with it, but you know, that actually looks pretty good. The glove box gauges there, I kind of like that, so we'll just go for that. Carbon door cards, gotta go for that. Looks way better. So we got that now. For the seats, I'm not a super huge fan of changing the seats, but I'm not a super huge fan of the stock ones either, so I think, actually, you know what, the stock seats look pretty good. We'll leave them stock, we'll leave them stock. For the wheel, I like to go for the Apex Professional, so we're gonna go for that one. That's just my favorite one. Torino red on the dash, I don't know how I feel about that, as well as having it on the seats, so we're gonna go for Ultra Blue. That looks pretty cool. Now for a roll cage, I don't really want one, but I think we might go for a half cage, just because that's kind of cool. So we'll go for the half cage, why not? Now for the lights, we do have different options because we are within the Arena Workshop, so kind of want to go for something a little bit different. We'll have a look through all of these. I kind of like the electric blue lights. We'll go for those because they're like xenon, but like kind of better almost. And for the neon, I don't really want to change the neon layout. I kind of want to leave it alone and just not have it. So we're just going to leave it off. Now we do have some stripe options and some livery options on this thing. If I was going for a Fast and Furious livery, of course we got a couple here. I kind of want to keep this car completely clean, just livery free, because I kind of have an idea for it, so we'll see what happens. For the plate holder though, we are going to remove the front plate because it just looks way better. We're going to go yellow on black for the plate as well. Now for the respray, now I have an idea for this car, and it might look really good or it might look really bad. And I was thinking of cream. Now cream is okay, so I think I am actually going to go for the cream. And then for the secondary color, we'll also go cream. And then trim, yeah, we've already got Torino red, that's right. For the roof, we can, of course, add some roof spoilers and stuff like that. To break up the color a little bit, we are going to go for the carbon roof on this thing. And then for the side skirts, we're going to go for whatever carbon option we have here. Yeah, the carbon skirt extensions, we'll go for those. The spoiler, if there is a carbon version of one of these, I think we're going to go for it. Maybe the carbon classic RS wing? Usually I go for a ducktail, but I don't know, it kind of caught my eye and it kind of looks good, I feel like. So we're going to go for the carbon classic RS wing. Then for the suspension, we are going to slam this thing all the way down. Transmission all the way up, of course, and the turbo as well for sure. For the wheels, I actually really like the stock wheels on this thing. I've done a glitch to actually get the wheels to be sort of a bronzy color, or maybe I can't remember what color it is, but it's some sort of like a brown. We've got those on right now, and honestly, like, I feel like they actually kind of look really good with this car, but I kind of do want to change them at the same time. So we're gonna go into the street rims, and we're gonna go and have a look through these. The Truffade concaves are really nice looking rims. I don't know that they really, I don't know, they kind of work with this car actually. I think that these just work, like they just look really good with the color of the car that we've gone for and everything. We'll go for these. Now I do have straw brown on these, so that's not exactly like the greatest look ever, although I don't really mind it. But I was thinking of maybe going for some bronze rims on this thing, or maybe like some gold rims, because I feel like it kind of accents the car nicely, especially with the Truffade concaves, because there's a lot of black on the wheels as well to match up with the carbon sort of. So I'm thinking maybe gold, maybe bronze, or maybe like frost white or stone silver. Stone silver also looks really good in my opinion. I really like that, so that's another good option. Of course, we can also just go black, which, let's be honest, looks pretty good too. But I think I'm actually going to go for gold. I kind of like that. We do already have bulletproof tires on this thing, and now we got to tint the windows all the way out, of course, as well. I'm actually pretty happy with this build. I want to see it in the sunlight, so we're going to take it outside. We're going to do a sound test and a full review on the car, but I think I'm actually pretty happy with this build. Of course, I need to see it in the sunlight. Let's see. Okay. Honestly, I'm happy with it. I think it actually looks really, really good. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Some of you guys are not going to like it for sure, and I know that, but I think it looks pretty good. Now, if you've never driven an LG Retro Custom, it basically handles just like the LG RH8, except I actually think that this car is a little bit slower. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure the LG Retro Custom is actually slower than the regular LG. I don't know how Rockstar did that, or maybe it was intentional. It kind of does make sense because the RH8 is technically the current gen GTR, or the R35, whereas this is more of an R32 or maybe an R33. I don't know. There's quite a bit of debate about that. And there's of course the guys that also think it's an R34, but I don't think that they're quite right. They're all very cool cars, I think. Now, the Retro Custom has really good acceleration, despite it being a little bit slower than the RH8. Again, correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure this thing is actually slower. But the acceleration is, you know, good enough. It's pretty good. Now, as far as the handling goes, I can't honestly tell much of a difference between this and the RH8. Like, they both handle pretty much identically as far as I can tell. The RH8, I feel like, might have a bit more understeer, if I'm not mistaken. Again, I could be wrong. And that's not really to say that both of these cars have understeer. They're actually both relatively good when it comes to understeer, but I don't know, I feel like the RH8 has a tiny bit more understeer than this thing does, so that is a little bit interesting. Now, the only really unfortunate thing with this car is I think that the top speed is pretty much piss weak. Like, it's not very quick in a straight line. The acceleration's good, but it's only good up to the top speed, obviously, and the top speed is not that high on this car. It did come out quite a few years ago now, so it has been a while, so, you know, cars have gotten faster in GTA, but it's still just not that great compared to some of the newer cars in GTA, especially on the expanded and enhanced edition. Overall, the LG Retro Custom is really good. I mean, you can get the RH8 for completely free, and then all you have to pay for is the upgrade to the Retro Custom, and it doesn't cost like that much money. I want to say it's somewhere in the neighborhood of like 800 grand, and you get an absolute ton of customization that you can do to this thing, so it's pretty awesome. Anyway, guys, I would say that I recommend picking up an LG Retro Custom if you guys are interested in one. It's got tons of customization. It's really fun to drive. Overall, very good vehicle. Anyway, guys, if you enjoyed this customization and the review, let me know in the comments down below. Leave a like as well if you don't mind. Dislike if you didn't enjoy, of course. Subscribe if you guys are new, and I will see you all in the next video. Until then, take care. Peace.